of his administration, because when he became governor on 27th of December 2023, he said that his ambition would be to finish that administration on a high note. You could recall that that administration started with former governor Akeredolu, of course with him as deputy governor, before he became governor due to the unfortunate passing of the former governor. And so the last 1 year has been a little bit of an experiment, but has also been a little bit of laying the foundation.
Why should it be an experiment? A person who has been deputy to the previous occupier.
Why it has been an experiment is that first, when he took over the reins of government, a lot of things were not under his control. The budget for last year had been prepared. He had to do a little bit of maneuvering in order for him to really stamp his own imprint on the budget, the election and the main election. So if no matter how good you are as a politician or as an administrator, those will be distractions on their own. And don't also forget that at the time he took over the reins of power, such series of liabilities is a little bit of it's difficult to deal with. Don't also forget that let me add this. Don't also forget that the cabinet he inherited was not his own, and
despite us being a part of that cabinet.
Yes, and apart from that, some members of the cabinet also contested against him in the governorship election. So for a man to go through all that, the governorship primary, so for a man to go through all that and still be able to run in the history of Ondo State. So we have a lot to celebrate, but we also have a lot of work ahead of us.
You are a journalist before becoming CPS in any case. You made a point I really want you to have your input on that. Talking about the fact that the governor had to go into primary, it's expected. He had to go into elections, it's expected.
It's expected in a normal democratic setting. Let me tell you this. Hold on. Before you continue, let me add this.
Just a moment, because isn't it one of the problems we have in Nigeria that we cannot bifurcate politics and governance once it has to do with somebody that's an occupier?
You can't. Because governance is a product of glossary, of time. For him, after becoming governor, it was thrust upon him immediately from the beginning.
Yes. The inauguration will be commencing
tomorrow. We are starting tomorrow.
That's something that strikes my mind as far as this is concerned. You will have time to read off these activities. But one thing strikes my mind about the seaside event bid for Saturday, if I'm not correct, from what I've seen you read out as CPS.
Yes.
Every time we talk about the potentials of the southern district of Ondo State, now an administration is about to take off and also still wanting to showcase the potential of the south. Eventually, it does not.
We are going through the process of establishing the seaport and that part of the state, and we are also in the process of exploring the exploration of bitumen that you mentioned. So if you have all these in the Southern Central District, if you also have areas where people can relax, where people can enjoy themselves, both those working from within the state and also those coming from outside the state and outside the country also. So that's why I said the inauguration ceremony is not just about merriment alone. We're also using it to showcase the state, and also at the stadium during the inauguration we also showcase the rich culture of the state. Our cultural troupe will perform, and also some of the other local artists in the state that will also be showcased to the rest of the world. So the inauguration activities will start tomorrow with a human service at the Central Mosque by 1 p.m. and then on Saturday we'll go to the beach by 10 a.m. And then on Sunday, the church Thanksgiving will hold at LCG from the shenanigans going on as regards the so-called trial or prosecution of Mr. Wale Omolego Bishola. And in the statement, I did mention that Mr. Governor has no interest in arresting anybody that criticizes his administration. Don't forget that this is a man that passed through. As a matter of fact, he's passed through the worst. I don't think there's anything anybody can say to him that can rile him up to the extent of saying, go and arrest him. What did they not say about him when
Who wrote the petition?
I don't know. As I'm talking to you, I do not know. Only the police authority know who submitted petition to them. But the only thing I know is that Mr. Governor has no interest, is not aware, he did not authorize anybody to file any petition.
He did not authorize or
he did not
aware.
It was not, as a matter of fact, by the time, even when I took up the matter with Mr. Governor for the very first time, he was even surprised. What did what did he say that will be more than what has been said before he got to Mr. Governor?
Well, one more issue before we close shop because of our time. In those states, the government said it's taking bold steps to address land grabbing, and then it all was put into place by the House of Assembly. It also got the approval of the executive, but things are still the same. Land grabbing still remains a concerning issue.
Well, it's because
is it a problem of implementation or lack of direction?
No, I don't know. I don't understand your direction of questioning. There is nothing like lack of direction here. If there is no lack of direction, the government will not be putting in place a law.
Who is supposed to implement the law?
Well, there are authorities that will implement the law. Don't also forget that these are not things that happen overnight. It is a long process, and if you want to, for instance, if you want to take